James here, and this is the 6th Java tutorial, and in this tutorial we will cover if statements. If statements are a way of conditionally executing code. They can also be referred to as a conditional statement. So basically, what a conditional statement is if a condition is true, so whether a Boolean is true, execute this code. Otherwise, find a corresponding else block and execute that otherwise. So let's just see how to use one real quick. So basically, if condition, and I know it's going to say there's an error, but just ignore it. If condition, do this. Else, do this. So basically, if condition is true, so let's go ahead and make a Boolean variable. Boolean condition equals true. So basically now it'll execute the code inside of this code block, and let's go ahead and replace it with an actual statement. So system.out.println the condition is true, and syso the condition is false. So basically, what I'm saying here is, if this condition is true, execute the code inside of this code block. Otherwise, execute this code. So basically, let's go ahead and run this. Now, this condition is always true, so it's going to be pretty boring. It'll always print out this block. So let's go ahead and run it. And it says the condition is true. So there's another caveat, so let's make this false. It'll now say the condition is false because it's not true. It's going to jump to this else statement, and it's going to execute the code inside of this code block. So basically, the way you differentiate these code blocks is with the curly braces, as I've been pointing out, or highlighting sometimes. But basically, what the curly braces says is, this is the beginning of the statements inside of if this condition is true, and then this is the end. This is the beginning, end. And there's a little thing you can do. It's just a shortcut if you don't feel like typing these in. If it's just one line of code that you want to execute if this condition is true or not, we can actually just take this out. And Java is smart enough to know that, oh, this is the only line of code right here. I'm going to go ahead and execute this. So I can also do the same thing with the else. And I'll show you that it puts out the same output. Go ahead and save. And it says the condition is false. Here's another thing too. There's also another thing to if statements, is the else if. The cool thing about this is we can have a second condition that we can check after we check the first condition. So else if condition 2. And then we can still have our else at the end. But there's now a new meaning to this else statement. This means the condition and condition 2 are both false. So the only time, let me go ahead. Equals true. Go ahead and run this. So basically, what's going to happen here is it's going to say the condition 2 is true. So basically, the only time that this code block is reached is if both condition 1 and condition 2 are both false. So let me go ahead and make that statement true and run it. And it says the condition and condition 2 are both false. So right here, they are both false. Now here's another thing to this. Let me make condition 1 true. In this case, only the code inside of this code block is going to get executed. So basically, once it sees that condition 1 is true, it'll go ahead and skip by this else if and this else, and it won't execute any code inside of these blocks. And now it says the condition is true, as in condition 1. You can basically chain these on for as long as you want. But remember, if you put an else if one of those is true, it will not continue to execute any of the other ones. So basically the first one that is true in the series of else ifs will be the one that executes. So basically that is the intro to if statements. You can use an if statement to execute code based on a condition. And one more thing is you don't actually have to create a variable for this. You can actually just put in here a comparison. So like if 7 is greater than 3. Now, basically, it'll do the comparison in here, and this will return a Boolean value. So basically, if I was to put this up here, so if I was to put up here 7 greater than 3, put this right here. Now, it will execute this because 7 is greater than 3, and the condition is true. But basically, you don't have to create a Boolean variable every single time you want to use an if statement. Just know that you can make comparisons here. That's pretty much it for if statements. And I'll see you guys in the next tutorials. I'm going to go dive deeper into it and go over conditionals and basically using these symbols right here, like greater than, less than, equal to, and stuff like that. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.